Hi everyone, my name is Anne Fulkerson. In 2015, I had a near-death experience from a heart attack. Something that changed my life forever. It's been 10 years now, and a lot has unfolded. People are fascinated by near-death. And I'll just share, mine feels so big still, even after 10 years, but I'll share my story and how it started and how it unfolded. I was at a poker tournament and I started not feeling well. It turned into the next day I had a dream of Jesus on the cross that I woke up hysterical to because they were nailing his legs and his hands on the cross, and it was so emotional. I woke up hysterical, crying, grief-stricken that humans could do such things. I went about my day. My girlfriend, who lived right next to me, was bringing over an article about adoptions. I'm adopted, and there was now a law that your family had to go to the courthouse and register if they were still living. At 50 years old, that seemed very overwhelming to me. At the time, I was in a relationship that was very toxic and very stressful. And this is the accumulation that happened. My girlfriend comes over, she's dropping the article off. I'm starting to have chest pains, end up on the floor, and as everything's unfolding, I'm not quite sure what's going on exactly. But she was a nurse's assistant, and she had seen this many times, so I could tell she was scared, and she basically propped my feet up, took care of me. She was calling my boyfriend. I tried to grab the phone, and I was totally paralyzed. My mouth was still moving, I think, but I couldn't move my body. And this bliss and this peace just washed over me, and I was going in and out of consciousness, in and out of my body. I could see everywhere. I could see my body. I could see. And then I would be back in my body and back into the pain and back into the environment. And I was washed again with this bliss, and this peace just kept washing over me. So euphoric. I was like, what is this? What's going on? Like, this is like what drug users are probably trying to get to, this unbelievable bliss. In the meantime, she's calling my boyfriend, telling him what's going on. But I can hear her and see her in the kitchen, but I can see everything. I can see my body. I can see her. It was like I had this panoramic view of everything outside, inside. And so I was going in and out of my body. And at this time, I was kind of frightened. I didn't know what was going on. She's wanting to call the ambulance, and I just do everything naturally. And I had this sense that something big was happening. And I heard a voice say, lay there and take it. And at that moment, I decided to lay there and take it. And a very deep surrender came over me. And I just surrendered. And she had to leave. I could feel everything so intensely. She had to leave to go get her blood pressure medicine. And I felt like she was like so high-strung over the situation, and I'm laying there in bliss and peace washing over me, and she's freaking out, and I just want her to leave and go away, like a kid that wants the whole house to itself. And she tells me, I can still hear at this point, but she tells me she's going to go take her blood pressure medicine. And when she leaves out the door, I'm like, yay, she's gone. Like, I got the whole place to myself. And it goes black and dark. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing these shadows. And these shadows came with knowings, telepathic knowings. And these shadows were dancing, and energies were moving. And all of a sudden, there was this girl. And I couldn't see her face, but I could see that it was somebody I knew, and I could sense that it was somebody I knew. It was a little girl, and I had hurt her sometime in my lifetime and hers. I had hurt her, and I was feeling this hurt from her. I was feeling her hurt, and this energy was going back and forth, back and forth. And I knew that I was giving her that hurt and also receiving it. And then I realized that that giving and that receiving was nothing like I had been taught on earth. And I was really curious about it. And the more that I experienced that, I realized what giving and receiving really is. It's a giving of whatever energy you're giving to another person. I was actually receiving that hurt and pain back within myself when I thought I was hurting this person. And about that time, the energy was swirling and it was showing me different things. And then it began to engulf me into like this darkness again. And it showed me this, I was this ever-present, one-pointed awareness of nowness, this I am. That's what I was. And I was this I was the observer of everything. I could see everything around me and within me. I am that. And I am the now. That's it. I have everything. I am everything. There's nothing lacking in this place. I got it. I realized that I am everything. And I am this perfection of nowness that only exists now. I got it. Total wisdom that I deeply understood. After digesting this wisdom, my near-death seemed to be about a lot of wisdoms that I needed. After digesting this wisdom, I became engulfed and immersed in what I call liquid golden love. It totally immersed me, surrounded me. It was moving, seemed to be moving around my body, my aura, whatever. It was swirling. It was holding me in all my fears and all my memories and all my, everything I was feeling and experiencing. It was holding me. And what I observed was as it was holding me, it was such a love that I've never experienced before. And it was dissolving all my memories, all my fears, my doubts, my judgments of myself or others. And I could feel everything was like dissolving inside of this love that was holding me. And I curiously asked, is that God? Yes. Intuitively, telepathically, I received the answer, yes. That's God, that's you, that's love, that's light. Let your light shine. This love just held me so immensely. And as I deeply felt held in all this love, everything just dissolved. And all there was left was peace, as if everything was wiped clean from me. After that experience, I felt deeply in love and into peace. I was shown that I am the universe. I was shown this black universe, and I was standing in it, and I was shown that I am that. I am the universe. The universe is within me. There is no separation. I was shown a projector, a movie projector, and how it has a black screen until you put and project something onto it. Then it becomes whatever you put on it. Then you see whatever you put on it. And I was like, oh my God, that's how we are creating our lives. I was shown all this. I am one there. I am not separate from anyone, anything, or universe. I'm not even separate from myself. I'm the one projecting onto the movie screen or the universe like a Xerox copy machine. I'm simply getting mirrored back what I'm giving the mirror. Again, this is just, it's all happening like in wisdoms, and I get it, and then another wisdom starts to reveal itself. And as I received this wisdom, there was this movie screen, and these shadows were dancing. And in curiosity mode, I was like, that's interesting. What's that? And everything was so telepathic. If I had a question, I instantly got an answer. And I was so fascinated by that. Like, how do we do that? That's like instant. Ask and you shall receive. And I was curious and I asked, what is that? Who is that? Because these shadows were showing up. And instantly the movie reel stopped. And there was 3 shadows of people I could see, like in the first shadow of the young girl, but I couldn't see who they were. I got a sense and an essence that my biological mother was there and I was on her hip, and there was somebody from Children's Services there. And the scene was, as I'm watching these dancing shadows, I hear these loud screams and baby cries and screams. And I hear, no, no, no. And everybody's like panicked and freaking out and screaming, no. That's all I can hear is no and cries and screams. And I'm so curious. I'm like, who is that? What is that? Why am I seeing this? And it instantly stopped. It was a movie reel. And everything just started showing me what this was. I had this huge revelation that I've been screaming my whole entire life. No, I didn't like my childhood. I was adopted 3 times and in and out of foster homes, and I didn't like any of how my life turned out. And I'm 50 years old. I had a thought, maybe that's why, somehow I must have sensed I was still laying on the floor. Maybe that's why I'm here. But how do you say no your whole entire life and expect there not to be suffering? I suffered. I was very suicidal my whole life. And so all of a sudden I got it. And I was like, I've been saying no my whole life. I wonder if I had said yes to my life's experiences, if my life would have been differently. All of a sudden, I heard this loud click in my head, and I knew that my life would have been very different. And as if I got it, all of a sudden, I'm screaming, I'm patting myself down, I'm back in my body. And before this happens, I realized my girlfriend, because I can still, when I was coming to, I could see her coming back to my house simultaneously as all this is unfolding. So I could see everything as I'm getting ready to come back in my body. I know she's getting ready to walk in the door. And as she walks in the door, I'm patting myself down, screaming, I'm alive, I'm alive. Come here, I want to share everything with you. She didn't want no part of it. She was mad. She was mad as a hornet. And that's been 10 years ago. And it's just, there's been a lot of integration and there's a lot of wisdom there. And I came back, I was suicidal because when I came back, nothing made sense to me anymore. Everything that I was shown wasn't the way that I was living life, and didn't know anybody around me or anybody in the world that was living life that way. So nothing made sense. It was very scary to come back onto this earth, which I called hell. I just went to heaven and now I came back to hell. So I came back with the most, because I'd had a heart attack, I couldn't walk. And I was 50 and I was in very good shape at the time, but I couldn't even walk across the room. But I had so much love. I felt so much love in my heart. You couldn't get me upset if you tried. I saw love in everyone, everything. And for about 3 years, that's the way it was. And then my stuff started coming back into my awareness. And it's like I was wiped clean and I came back to share my experience. And I knew when the love was holding me that was what I was to do, was to hold myself in that love and the I am, and able to hold another in that as well. So I knew that. at that moment, I knew that that's what I was to do. A lot of people want to have a near-death experience, but only if God says it's time, There's a lot of integration that had to happen in my heart and in my soul, because of course I wasn't living from my heart, and my heart broke open. A heart attack is basically, in my experience, my heart broke wide open, cracked wide open, resolved, and then I was brought back, and now I have to learn how to operate from an open heart. And so it is, it's something that it's hard to put words into when you have a near death. It's totally life-changing, for sure. And will open. And I know usually there's a lot of questions. I've wondered why I didn't see the light. Like a lot of people see the light. I saw shadows and darkness. And I once asked my mentor from INTERVIEWER'S why that was. And she said, people see what they need to see. And so that really helped me understand and relieve myself of the stress. I didn't see the light. I didn't need to see the light. I already knew the light. So these are, huge wisdoms that involve life. And thank you for listening. And anyone who wants to reach out to me, I'm open and available. Please feel free. I will leave my information below. You can contact me. And my heart goes out to everyone who, in any space experience that they're in.